Jazz from Group Technologies. I'm here with Ryan and we're at the KLANG booth. There's been a lot of updates since last year. NAMM 2025, can you tell us about everything that we need to know? New software, new products?
A lot of software updates. So the Germans have been hard at work making sure that all those feature requests that all of our users have been asking for made it in, and they did a lot. So one of the biggest ones that we were excited about was something called Vokal Plus. So the idea that we could take a vocal unit, which is typically 24 channels, mono or stereo, and it's a one-time purchase license, and you can take it up to 64 channels. So that was a huge one for a lot of our artists and a lot of our musicians, a lot of churches, a lot of people very excited about that one. And then the other one is, it was called 5.6, KOS 5.6, and that had a ton of features. So just a lot of quality of life improvements, ways to take sessions from maybe you were singing on a wireless ear pack number 2, and we wanted to take your mix next week and move it to wireless pack number 3. So very easy way to juggle those and move those around. And on the controllers, they introduced a feature where we can, on the groups, we can actually manage from the controllers to spill out to our groups. So we can just look at the drums, and now we can control up to 128 channels on the controller right from here. And then the KLANG DMI card got a big update, and then it's got EQs now on all the inputs as well. So EQs are still available on the vocal, the conductor, all that. We just added them to the DMI card as well.
So the synergy between KLANG and DiGiCo is something that's ever expanding. Can you tell us a little bit more about the new integration that you've got with the actual consoles?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big upgrades for version 5.6, but it also required an upgrade from DiGiCo on their software. So anything that is version 17 or higher will be able to do this. But now, instead of needing a separate computer, Mac, or a PC to run the KLANG app, now we can actually just run it natively on the console. So you need a KLANG processor, any KLANG processor you want, and then we can pair that with a DiGiCo console. And so a DMI card in the back, for example, or a vocal that we were talking about earlier, we can connect that via Maddie or Dante to the console, and then we connect the networks together, and now all of the console control can be done natively from here. So you'll see the control on board, which we've had. We just now, it can just do that natively. So we go to our external control page, gotta hit the right button, and you actually see that we have a dedicated KLANG interface section now. We can enable it, disable it from there. We can put it into bypass if we want to test out, what it's gonna sound like if a failure were to happen or something like that. And then we can even save and import settings from the console directly into the KLANG app. So if you already had a DiGiCo session where you had a monitor mix that your artist was happy with, they liked, but they were interested in trying out KLANG, now you can import those settings directly into KLANG so their mix is identical. And then you can just say, hey, I want to take the audience mics and let's put those into KLANG and let's see what those sound like. So yeah, it's amazing, super quick. It pulls over all the names, all the networking setup. It's just a very streamlined setup now.
Making lives a lot easier, I'm sure, with that one. Amazing. And have you seen many real-world applications where they've started using this together with the console?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the major tours that were already using KLANG, but having to go through all that extra steps in the configuration and making sure everything matched, they've been able to save so much time by just going in. And then it's all saved in the DiGiCo session and in the KLANG processor natively. So once again, no saving files and all that kind of stuff. You just load your DiGiCo session and it's going to load the KLANG session that goes with that, and those settings are stored in snapshots too. So if you go from song to song and the artist wants something different, all that's stored in there as well. So
it's amazing, so streamlined. That's an excellent process, and I think people will be very grateful to have it on board. Thanks so much.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure.